Hi, my name's Denise McCabe and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia on the New South Wales Central Coast. And this is my Makeup Monday for this week. Today we're going to do a fancy fold. It's a W fold card, and my sample card I used the Gnomes paper from the mini catalogue, and this is what it looks like. So it opens up like that. So it's a W. And it's just a really cool fold. I really like it. It's very simple, and that's another thing I like. So we're going to do it with the Santa Express paper. So I've got everything cut and prepared, so I shall put my phone up into my holder and we can get started. So here's the card, the W fold card. So it will stand like that. Just making sure you can see that, yes. And it folds out. It's quite nice. You'll use quite a bit of design series paper, which is another nice thing, so then you're not left with a lot left over. I'm trying to find cards where I use a lot of designer series paper. So the Gnomes bundle is in the mini catalogue. I just got to find it. Here it's on page 42 and 43, and as I said, I've only bought the paper. I have the puff paint from when that was in before, and I've got the adhesive backed gems, but apart from that I don't have the stamp set or dies or the ribbon, and I've just fussy cut the paper out to get my little gnomes and reindeer, and that's really cute. I like that. It's a fun card. The other bundle that I've only bought the paper with is the Santa Express bundle. Actually, I tell a lie. I now have the Memories and More card pack and envelopes. So I do have those. So yeah, this is the Santa Express suite. And here are a couple of cards I've just made from the designer series paper, cutting it out, fussy cutting the train and the carriages. And this back piece is a piece of the designer series paper. And this was another one where I've just fussy cut the Santa and Mrs. Claus out. Did a bit of dry embossing with some embossing folders and made those. So I don't have a lot of little people in my family, so I don't really need little people type cards and gnomes. But I do like to get the paper and sort of showcase some kid type cards for Christmas. So we'll put our catalogue aside. Now I've already gone and cut everything out, and these are the instructions. So I'll just make sure you can see that. These are the dimensions for the cards. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, I'll just make sure it's in view. I will put it up on my blog with all the dimensions for the cards and the DSP. But if you want to take a screenshot of that to start with. But as I said, I will put all the dimensions up on my blog once I've uploaded the video. Okay, so the card base is 11 5/8, which is pretty much the length of a piece of A4 cardstock. I just cut a little slither off the end, and then it's 5 7/8 here. It's scored at 1 7/8, 3 3/4, 5 5/8, and 7 1/2. So that's the scoring. So I'm just going to fold my card and get that ready. And get my bone folder out. So that's your card base done. You also have a piece of card 3 inches by 6 inches, scored at 3 inches, and that will be this part of the card, and then another 3 by 3 square for that part. So they're my other 2 pieces, and the rest is just all layering. So let's get started. We'll put those ones aside and we'll get started on layering our cardstock. Actually, I'll just put my base to one side as well. So you've got one piece 3 7/8 by 5 5/8 and a piece of layering DSP 3 5/8 by 5 3/8. On my sample card, I didn't use a piece of layering cardstock. I just went straight with the DSP. So I've just added another layer to my card by using a piece of cardstock for a layer. So we're going to get our glue out. I'm going to get my DSP and oops. So get rid of that. I'm just going to layer that there. So you can go without the layering of the card stock, but I just thought I'd add it to this one. I'll bring my card base in and I can start attaching it all to my card base. So it's quicker if you don't have the card layer. You just go straight DSP onto the card base, but I just thought I'd add an extra layer this time. Trying not to bring my head in. And then you've got 5 pieces of card. And this colour is shaded spruce. It's one of the colours in the designer series paper. And these 4 pieces are 1 3/4 by 5 5/8. And then I've got 4 strips of designer series paper, and they are 1 1/2 by 5 3/8. So you could go all the same way if you want, but I thought I might flip this around. On this one, I just did them all one way, but I just thought that might make it a little bit more interesting. So I shall put glue on the back of this. If you're like me, you have so much designer series paper. I've got so much retired that I like finding these fancy fold cards where I'm using up a lot of paper, because hopefully I won't have much left over. Because you might as well cut into your paper and use it up. There's no point in keeping it, hanging on to it. So this is pretty simple, just layering your DSP to your card layer, and then we'll attach them to our card base. So what I did with my piece of designer series paper, I pretty much just cut it in half across the horizontally, because if you have a piece of designer series paper like a scene and that you want to sort of match it up, that's the best way to cut it. Cut it at 5 and, just looking at my notes, 5 and 5/8, so nearly 6 inches in half horizontally. And then you'll, if you want to do it all one piece, you'll get your pieces matching up with the scene. Does that make sense? I think it does. This one, it doesn't really matter with the scene because it's just a whole lot of Christmas trees. So it's not like a scene where I wanted everything to follow on. I've just had a terrible feeling that I may not have hit record. I'm going to have a look, because that's going to be a nuisance if I haven't hit record. Oh no, it's recording. Phew! Oh dear. There we go. My hubby and I are still trying to work out this software where I can have a camera, like my webcam on my laptop, and then my phone in the holder, and I can just click on my computer and switch from one camera to the other. It's proving to be very complex. And I don't think we're ever going to figure it out. But anyway, we'll keep persevering. So I hope my head didn't come in. I'm just making sure I've got that lined up. I'll get rid of these little notes. I don't use shaded spruce very often, but it's really nice with this paper. So just put that there. And I think it's going to look nice alternated too. I think we're in for a week of nasty weather this week. Here on the Central Coast. We had a lovely day on Sunday. Although it turned out quite windy in the afternoon. But beautiful sunny day in the morning. Took our little puppy for a walk. We had some breakfast out, and that was really nice. Okay, so that's our card base, and all the panels pretty much done. I'll just make sure, just run my bone folder over that again. And so that's our card base for the Santa Express one. See, that's using all the same. Nice, very nice. So that's our base. So let's bring in, I've got, what have I got? I've got, okay, so we've got our 6 inch by 3 inch, and that's got its fold in the middle. I'll just make sure that's nice and crisp. Put a new blade in my cutting, in my cutter, my paper trimmer. Sometimes it just happens all of a sudden that you need a new cutting blade. So with these, I've got 3 pieces of the shaded spruce, and they're 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So we're going to layer them on top of that. And then I've got 2 pieces of the Designer Series paper, and that's 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. I could do it that way. We might do it that way. And I've got 1 piece of white to go there, and that's 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So let's layer all those together. So on my sample card, I did some DSP on this piece, but then I thought we'd have to write on it on the back. So I thought I'd make this one a blank piece of white, so that you've got something to write on. I could just do that piece, but I wanted to sort of tie it all in together. So there's not a lot of stamping in this card. It's just mainly focusing on DSP. And we've got such lovely DSP in both catalogues, the annual catalogue and the mini catalogue, that you could make this style of card with anything, any of them. Doesn't have to be a Christmas card. I still think it's a bit early to be making Christmas cards. I don't really want to think about Christmas, except maybe run away. Does anybody else feel like that at Christmas time? Let me just grab a tissue for any glue spurting. There we go. I'll put this one together first before I layer them onto our little fold. So my dear old mum turns 90 this Thursday. So I've organised a little bit of a celebration for her at the nursing home. My sister is coming up from Canberra with her husband, and my brother, I haven't heard if he's coming down, but I don't think he is, from Queensland. He still works, so it's a bit tricky. I'm taking the day off work, so I'm going to pick up some lovely cupcakes for her, and I've got some orchids that are in flower that were her orchids originally. I'm going to cut a few spikes of those and take those with me. And I think I'll pick up a balloon that says 90. She'll hate that, but anyway. She told me yesterday that she wasn't happy about turning 90. But as I said to her, I said, no, you think of all the lovely memories you've got. So she decided that's what she was going to focus on. So I'll cut the train out of the designer series paper as well. So I'll add him later. Now, this is where you put your card together. So you decide where you want this piece. I think I'm going to put it about there, centered. So we'll attach that. So yes, I told Mum, think about all the lovely memories she's got of her 3 kids. She saw them all grow up. And she's seen her 4 grandchildren all grow up. So lovely memories. So she said, she promised me that's what she'd focus on. So that's good. Okay, so once you've got that attached, fold your card over and then get this little piece, cover it up like that, cover up the piece you've put on your card base, like so. Bring all your folds in, and that's how it's going to attach. So what we do is we just put glue on the edge. You don't need to get too heavy-handed with it. And cover that up and bring that one over, and then this one over, and then this one over, and press down hard just so the glue can adhere to the paper. So that should be enough. Just want to make sure I haven't got any glue oozing out anywhere. Okay, so that's our card so far. I'm glad I turned that one around. That looks good. Okay, so we can just put our little Santa here. I could put him up on dimensionals. I'm not sure if I want to do that. I don't think I will, because he's just paper. So he might be a bit fragile. But if you've got the stamp set and die for this one, you certainly could stamp it, colour it in with your stamping blends, and then put it up on dimensionals, because you'd be doing that onto cardstock. And the beauty of this paper is that the Santas are multicultural, as are the gnomes. Can you see? This gnome's dark, got dark skin. So they're covering all bases with multicultural Santas. So I've got the Caucasian Santa here. Okay, so that's pretty much your card finished. I'll just get rid of this. There we go. Now I just want to stamp a little sentiment. And I've got this one. And on the gnomes, I stamped "'Tis the Season" because I really think that's a cute little greeting. I've used the Brightest Glow sentiment stamp set, and that just seems to fit quite nicely there with the banner from the Stitch Stylish Shaped Dies. It just seems to fit really well. I like it. So we might grab our shaded spruce ink pad. And I've got this. And just put my stamp on. Oh. I'll just bring it down so I can try and not bring my head in. There we go. And hopefully I'll get this straight. So I'll just bring it over here so that I can sort of do it side on. Pretty good. So that's the only stamping in this whole card, which is a bit crazy when you think about it. But as I said, if you had the Santa Express stamp set and dies, or the Gnome stamp set and dies, you could certainly stamp your own and colour them in. So I'm just going to get down to my scraps on my dimensionals. So I'll just pop that there. Oops. And just want to make sure that that's going to just tuck there. And I'll just grab some bling, because you can't make a Christmas card without bling. So I've got some red rhinestones in here that I think would look really good with this Santa Express one. So these are carried over in the annual catalogue, I believe. Now just trying to work out where to put them. So that's where you could write your greeting to your people that you're sending it to. I think I might put one up here. And maybe there. Sort of a bit funny place to trying to work out where to put your bling. So there we have a W fold card. So I got this fold from Claire Ottaway in the UK. She made it and I really like the fold, so I thought, I do love my fancy folds. So that's where I got it from, and I'm really happy with that. It looks really cool, don't you think? And there's a bit of layering. If you put the extra piece of cardstock there's a bit of layering involved, but it looks really nice. So that's one with the extra layering. This one's just with the DSP straight onto it, and I didn't alternate the DSP with the gnomes. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'll have it up on my blog, stampingpassion.blogspot.com, in the next, probably by the end of Monday. But yeah, that's just they're just a bit of fun, these cards, and good for kids with the Santas and the gnomes. Really like that. Now, what have I got coming up class-wise? Okay, Saturday the 30th of July, I've got a kit crafternoon coming up. So it's BYO kit, Stampin' Up kit, and it's free. You don't have to pay anything. Just bring your kit along and have a nice afternoon crafting with other people. It is actually my 14th anniversary with Stampin' Up, so we're just going to have a fun afternoon. Saturday the 6th of August, I've got my mini catalogue launch. So if you'd like to come along to that, please let me know. I do need to know numbers, so I can have projects prepared and make sure I've got enough space for people. And then I'll put my other classes up on my blog and on my customer newsletter. So if you don't get the newsletter, just let me know. Send me a message and I shall add you to my email list. And yeah, so that's my Makeup Monday for today. The W fold card using the Santa Express paper. Hope you liked that. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.